mom told me not to talk to strangers on the internet, but I'm glad I didn't listen. We are the Certified Noonas, your sisters in the love of Asian entertainment.
Hi, I'm Amanda.
I'm Jessie.
I'm Natalia.
And I'm Sky.
And this is Amanda's birthday episode! Congratulations! And as is the custom at the Noonas, anytime one of us has a birthday, which is once a year for each of us. So.
Really?
Twice for Natalia.
Twice for Natalia due to administrative errors, but that's neither here nor there. We get to pick an episode topic. And I think this year we all picked music stuff. Yeah, we did. Look at us. Look at us being wild and crazy. And so we're continuing that trend with Amanda's pick. A little Indonesian American singer, Stephanie Poetri. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So buckle, which I'm sure you already knew because you looked at the title of the episode. But like, this is how this works. We have to introduce. Anyway, Amanda, why don't you just take it away and tell us what we need to know about this singer?
All right. Well, Stephanie Poetri. Daughtry. Poetri is actually her middle name. It means princess in Indonesian. But it also, means poetry in English.
So it works on a double level.
It does, because apparently her dad used to write poetry for her mom when he was courting her as well. So that's part of the...
That's cute.
Yeah. So, she just goes by Stephanie Poetri, though. Partially because I think she's not entirely certain how to pronounce her last name. I don't know. There's some interesting interviews there where she's like, I don't know, it's sort of like pronounced this way in Texas, but like my dad says it this way in Indonesia, and like
because I've heard it
Irish, so
I've
like
heard it like Daughtry, I've heard it Daughtry, I've heard it like a lot of different, depending on where you were. Yeah.
So maybe it's just easier. She's like, you know what, poetry, that's good. We'll just go with that. So she is an Indonesian American singer. She's born in Indonesia. She's raised in Indonesia. But her father is American from Texas. He is a music teacher in Indonesia and headmaster there. Her mother is a very famous Indonesian pop star, TD DJ. So actually when she was growing up, when she was young, not for me. Music is not for me, because everybody would say to her, oh, obviously you're going to go into music since your parents are musical. And she was like, no, forget it. Not doing it.
Don't do it.
But she loved to write poetry. And then one day her dad sort of said, those could be song lyrics, and taught her sort of the art of songwriting and how to chorus, storytelling, the whole thing, how to put it together, and she really fell in love with that. By the time she was about 13, she had sort of decided that maybe this was the direction she wanted to go in. She auditioned for, and I think was on Indonesian Idol Junior, which her mom was one of the hosts, the judges for that. But she which is interesting. So she is a Nepo baby. She knows she's a Nepo baby, and she is very vocal about wanting to widen that road for other people. She knows she has the easy road because she has these ins that other people don't have. So she wants to pave the way. She wants to be able to say, okay, you don't have a mom who is famous and in the industry. Let me, teach you how to get there. Let me help you figure things out, kind of thing. So there's actually a really cute little video. I kind of panicked at first because I thought, when I first started watching this video of her auditioning for Idol, I didn't know, there was no subtitles, so I wasn't 100% certain what was going on with it, and I suddenly panicked. I was like, I think everything I know about this woman is wrong, because she goes on, she gives a completely different name, and I'm like, that's weird. And she's doing this whole thing and talking about how she's American and she doesn't speak Indonesian, and but she wants to like be on Indonesian Idol to like bridge the gap between America and Indonesia and stuff. And I was like, what? I thought she was Indonesian. Like, what is going on? It was all just a big scam it was a little game they were playing, because the main host did not know she was TDDJ's daughter. Everybody else on the panel knows, except for this one guy. And so then,
that was the written shtick they had her do.
Yeah, and so then she's, doing the whole thing, and he says, but your mom's backstage, right? And she's Indonesian? Yeah, why don't you bring her out here? And she goes, and like TDDJ, like, sneaks off, goes around back, and comes out again with her, and she's like, this is my mom, we gotcha, and I was like, okay. He's like, you're Stephanie? And she's like, yeah, I'm Stephanie. Okay. So it was kind of cute. It's not like her career, exploded at that point. She wasn't 13 and like touring and stuff, but she did, let me see, 2016, she was asked to do a cover of a really popular song called Bim Bang, which, as far as I can tell, the first version of that came out in like 1979, and there's a bunch of versions of it out there. But it was for a movie called Ada Apa, I can't read my writing, Dengan Sinta, maybe? And it was the sequel to a movie that was made in 2002. And I think they used a different version of this song, like a more ballady version of this song in the first movie. And it was very well associated with this very popular movie from 2002. So when they made the sequel in 2016, they wanted to update the song. And so she was asked to update that song and do a more sort of upbeat, like indie rock kind of vibe to it. And that did pretty well. She wrote another song called Appreciate, which has like an English version and an Indonesian version and stuff. But she's just kind of was doing her own thing, on hanging out on Instagram, being her own person. And she, until about 2019, she used to do these Instagram lives and stuff where she would ask people for like just prompts, and then she would write a little ditty, do a verse here, or come up with something. And one night, it's like a week after the Avengers Endgame movie comes out, and she's asking for prompts, and a whole bunch of people put I love you 3000, right? Do I love you 3000? And she's like, okay, what rhymes with 1,000? She's Googling it. Husband. Okay. I want you to be my husband. I love you 3,000. Whips off this just cute little, like, 2-line ditty, goes to bed, wakes up, and it's blowing up. And people are like, this is incredible. It should be a song. And she's like, okay, sure. And so she turns it into a song, and she goes to her mom, and she's like, is this good? And her mom's like, yeah, let's do it. And took her into a studio and like had her actually record it. And that song just like went crazy. It went super viral. There's all kinds of like just covers. Lots of K-pop singers have done covers. Like Baekhyun did sang it on stage one time, and like just wild. There's a really cute little video on YouTube of her reacting to a compilation of K-pop singers like singing it and stuff, and her just
you
going,
from Dreamcatcher did it.
Like, yeah, like, and she's a huge K-pop fan. Like, she loves K-pop. Really big GOT7 fan. Like, had their posters in her bedroom when she was in high school and stuff. And so then when 88 Rising was like, hey, do you want to do like a remix of your I Love You 3000 with Jackson Wang. She was like, okay, sure. I could
How
do
many
that. She's
ways
like,
is there to say yes to this?
3,000.
3,000.
So, and she's thinking, okay, he's a rapper. Like, is he going to come in with like a rap verse to do for this? And then she gets his vocals and it's him singing. And she's like, he's singing? This is incredible. Okay. Like, she's losing, And then they made a video together and stuff. And she's like, I'm on a couch with Jackson.
It's such a
Wang.
cute video.
It is. So, and I love that every time I've seen them take a stage together, Jackson is clearly, he's the bigger star. I mean, he's obviously the bigger, he's been in the game longer and everything, but he always seems to take a step back and like put the focus on her when, it'll be his concert and she's there and comes in and he makes sure the spotlight's on her, the focus is on her and her vocals and like, this is her song that I am a part of, not my song that she's a part of, and I love that. So that obviously made it even more popular. I discovered, I sort of learned who she was when 88 Rising did a big Asia Rising concert on Twitch, and it was like this 5-hour free concert and people from all over the world, and that's when I first heard her singing. And it was just like, this girl, I like it. She plays the guitar and she has beautiful vocals and I like the lyrics that she's singing, and so I was like right in there. So there's that song, and then 2020 she releases a couple more songs, a couple more singles, Do You Love Me and Touch. And then she does Straight to You, which has a ridiculous video. Like the music video is just silly. She realized that her brother had a green screen and she's like, can we just be bonkers? And yeah, and she basically got a couple of her friends. They shot the video. A lot of her early stuff is very much her calling up her friends and like, hey, can you come with your iPhone and film me doing stuff? And then she just puts it together and turns it into a video and stuff. So she does a lot of her own stuff. She's not, what does she say? I'm like my mom. I can write a song. I can do these things myself. But I'm also not going to turn down help because I'm not stupid, right? And I'm not going to turn down a good song. If
that's
somebody
a smart
comes
way
to
to
me
be.
with a song, I'm going to be like, that's a good song. I didn't write it, but I'm still going to sing it because it's good, So, yeah, I think it's good. She's doing her own thing. She's got a very different sound from her mother. She's, clearly, while she is a Nepo baby, she's plowing her own way. She's doing her own thing, and she likes to say very organically, which it does seem like her career has been hers. It's not like her mom put her on an album or something. It's been very much, she's grown her own fan base, and she's in one interview she's sort of talking about how she was talking to Nikki and backstage, and the owners of 88 Rising are there and stuff, and she was kind of like, hey, hi, what's that? And somebody says, you were flirting with 88 Rising. She's like, yes, I was flirting with 88 Rising. And then they were like, okay, and they said, what if we signed you? And she was like, great idea. I'm glad you came up with that.
Your haircut looks great.
Yeah. So, so she had her first sort of album, EP, in 2021, AM PM. It's got 6 songs, 3 for the morning and 3 for the afternoon or evening. And they kind of, she does in a concert video sings all 6 of them, and she says like, let me take you through the day kind of thing, and this is supposed to get you through the day, and I mean into the night. It's like 3 p.m. and I can't sleep, and then there's paranoia, and you know, she sings some very relatable things that you're like, oh yes, I have been there.
I'm gonna throw in just for a second, I saw on her Spotify, like when they were talking about like how many listeners she has, but underneath it said goofy music for goofy goobers. I thought that was really cute.
Aww.
Like,
Yeah.
And also some of SpongeBob.
And some of her facial expressions on like her music videos and stuff. Like she has really good comedic, like the music video won't be comedic, but she'll have like, she has a good comedy facial expressions sometimes. Like,
Yeah, she has a lot of personality.
Yeah.
She does. I don't know if any of you guys watched the Dive Studios. She did an interview with Jay and Alexa.
Yeah,
that was really
and
cute.
like, it's so cute. And the whole time Jay is just like, it's in stereo. Like, you two are the same person. And Alexa's like, I need to get your phone number after this because we are best friends now.
Yeah.
Like, so, it's very cute.
And what's crazy about that is like Stephanie's dad being from Texas, Alexa being from Oklahoma. I just love it. Love it.
yeah.
Yeah. She just has such a cute personality, and every time I watch a video with her, like there's one on YouTube of her, I think it's like a BuzzFeed one or something, where she's like making cakes or pancakes or something with this girl, and she's just such a dork, but she's so cute and fun, and like just seems like somebody you would hang out with. I mean, I probably wouldn't hang out with her because she's closer to my daughter's age than mine, but like, you know, personality wise, she just feels like somebody you could just go for pizzas with or go bowling with or something and just have a fun time. She's had a second EP come out in 2022 called Oh to Be in Love, with 5 songs on that one. She's had a couple of other singles. She's done some duets, some collaboration work with some different people. She's done a fair bit of like collaborative work in the last couple years. I mean, I say that a last couple years. She's only really had a career since 2019, so like the last couple years is her career. But she did
the last
sort of
couple
take
years
a little bit
in COVID too.
Yeah.
Right. So like in 2019, she had finished high school. She decided she wasn't sure what she wanted to do. She wasn't going off to college. She decided to move to LA and make a go for music. And so she was in LA when COVID hit, and when it kind of made it to the States and they started to talk about locking down and stuff, she said, I'm not going to be here when I could be at home with my family. So she bounced back to Jakarta so she could be with her family, which, I mean, yeah, if you can be locked down in a house with people versus an apartment in a country that you don't really know anybody, good choice. And a lot of her songs there on the AM/PM album really reflect that. Like, one of the songs is IRL, about wanting to be doing concerts again and traveling and seeing her friends that she can't. I want to see you in real life, right? And she's just, like, in the last month had 2 more songs come out, Astrologically Illogical and Invited. She signed with 88 Rising in 2020. And yeah, that's sort of her career in a nutshell. She also hasn't been that active there lately, but for a good chunk of time she was really into streaming on Twitch. She would do like songwriting streams, but also just video games. She loves, I think, if I'm reading in between the lines, part of the way that she wound up on Dive Studios doing an interview with Jay and Alexa was that she like would do game streaming with Jay.
Yeah, because that's how I found her, is through Jay's stream. And she was So she did a lot of Among Us games with the
Okay.
all those kids from
Offline TV.
Yeah, offline TV in that group. But she also had a Minecraft server, and Jay was on that server as well. And so she would, like, a lot of her streams at night. Well, I don't know if it was night for her, but it was like dead of night for me. It would just be her, like, in this kind of really cool, chill Minecraft server. Like, it was like really kind of quiet. So it was like a really nice, like, she would just like answer some questions and like slowly build up things. So it was like this really chill, nice live stream to have in the background.
Yeah, I used to, like, I would get the Twitch notifications, Stephanie's going live, and I'd be like, yay, but it's midnight and I'm going to bed, so have fun. Like, but yeah, it was kind of cute. I take it that also Jay, like, maybe just through a phone conversation one time when she was streaming or something, Jay had kind of like indirectly met her mother or something, because in that interview with Jay and Alexa makes some comment about, you know, growing up with a famous parent, and Jay's like, your parents are famous? And Alexa's like, yes, Jay. And he's like, wait, which one? And she's like, you met her, my mom. And he's like, she's famous?
Wait.
Yeah, kind of. It's like, oh, he's like, I met somebody famous.
Jay,
Like,
Jay,
oh, dude, you met a lot of
many famous people, Jay. Like,
Jay, you were technically famous. Like, come on.
Technically, like, so, yeah, I really like, I did see, if you want some context for how famous her mom is, there's a cute little clip on YouTube that I saw where Stephanie is at a concert and she decides to sing a cover of one of her mom's more famous songs, and you can hear all of the crowd is like, she's singing her mom's song, and they're all singing along because they all know the words. And then her mom walks on the stage and starts singing the duet, and they're just screaming, like people are like losing their minds.
Yeah.
Like, and you're like, okay, yes, famous. It's,
get it.
Like, culturally,
yeah,
like an aspect of things.
You know, which, when I think about it in terms of, like, our, like, American Idol, the judges on that are all people that you know, even if you don't listen to their music, you're like, oh, I know who that person is, right? So presumably Indonesian Idol would do the same thing. So she's that level of somebody famous. But I don't know, I think a couple weeks ago or a month ago or whenever it was, I was talking to somebody, I don't remember if it was on the podcast or just, you know, wherever, saying about how growing up, I like high school and stuff, it was very much girls and guitars. Like, I clearly had a girls and with guitars kind of phase, and Stephanie Poetri really hits that space for me. You know, she doesn't generally perform with her guitar, but she wants to be able to get into that, so she's practicing a lot more to be able to do both at the same time, which is cool. I think that's exciting for her. She usually, often, you see her just performing with, like, one lady on a guitar behind her, so if she could do it herself, it, you know, cuts down on whatever, but
for some time, you know.
Yeah, I mean, she's so young. I had no idea she was that young. When the first song you ever hear by her, like, she's got a lot of maturity to her voice, but also her lyrics. Like, the first song is like about proposals and wanting you to be my husband. You don't think that's coming out of a 19-year-old, you know? Like,
basically high schooler, yeah.
Yeah, which, when you see her talking about it in interviews, they're like, was that about somebody? She's like, no, I didn't even have a boyfriend. I'm writing these lyrics and going, Stephanie, like, I hate you. You're stupid. Like, why?
She's like, it was essentially Avengers fan fiction. Like, let's calm down.
Basically.
Yeah. Yeah. I have to think, though, like, that must have been wild to have when Jackson is singing those lyrics to you. Like, it must just have a real, like, your name moment vibe to it where you're just like, wait, am I awake? Is this a weird dream that I'm in? Nope, okay, we're good. Okay.
I liked how
wild.
in one of the printed interviews with her, like, she was kind of talking about that experience and how her friends were essentially like, is everything just breaking down to where, like,
Yeah.
I can't think of the word, man, it starts with an S, but why can't I think of the word? Anyway, it's kind of like the Matrix breaking down, like, what aspect, like, is this real? It was very, this is crazy.
So, I just a couple of, from different interviews and things that she was in, there were a couple of quotes that by her that I really liked and thought really sort of encapsulated who she seems to be as a person, as well as a musician. Like, one of them was that I experimented a lot, and I found a sound that feels like home to me, which I like that. And then at one point she said, you know what, you have one life, and I want to do as much good in the world as I can. So she's just trying to make good music and be a good person, and
you know what, there is good to creating music for people.
Yeah.
That is
absolutely.
a good, cool thing to do. Like, that's a good, cool thing to do, you know? Like,
So now she's back, I think, in LA. She's back in the States now, I think, in LA, working on her career. A lot of the people that she's done collaborations with in the last year are American rappers and DJs and stuff. So I like that for her, that she's sort of finding her sound. Her last couple of songs this summer have a much more upbeat, sort of almost dance pop kind of vibe to them, and a little less acoustic and sort of chill. But it's still clearly her. Like, it's still, you know, they're still clearly her songs. It's her vibe. I really like Invite, because I feel that to the core of my being. I don't want to go out, but I really want you to invite me to come. Like,
just ask me. I won't go, but
I want you to know that I love you, and that I want to know that you love me, and you're going to ask me because you love me, even though you know I'm not coming. Like,
an introvert theme song, per se.
Very much.
Basically.
Yeah.
We love to see it.
I like her music. I think there's something, like, nice about her that, like, it's not that she hasn't grown or hasn't changed, but like, it's always just her. Like, so if you like her music, you know that you're gonna continue to like her all of her music. Like, I don't think like you'll stray from that. Not to say that, like, it's a bad thing at all if, like, you find some songs, whatever, but, you know, it's just like, it's just, the songs are hers, and it's got this really nice kind of quality to it, like, especially, like, listening to it as someone who's much older than her. It's kind of got, like, this nostalgia feel, even though she's not the one making the nostalgia. She just, like, is obviously a very young girl talking about, like, young love and, like, these, like, young, you know, teenager, young adult matters, and they're very, like, nostalgic. So, like, you're, like, listening to it now and you're like, oh yeah, I know where you are. Like, I know where you are in your life. I get it. You know, it's sweet, like, listening to her, and I think she has an amazing voice, and so that's what
she does
really drew me into her after, like, having been introduced to her through Jay, but, like, not as, like, a singer. It was mostly, like, Among Us games. That's when I, like, started to listen to her, and I was like, oh, she's, like, really, really good. Like, especially at the age she is. She's got a lot of maturity in her voice, and she's been doing it right, and she's continuing to improve, and it's really nice to listen to.
And she seems like she genuinely is having a good time doing it, which, like, even better, you know? I love to see people really, like, doing what they love and being rewarded for it, you know?
Yeah.
Doing nice, cool stuff and getting nice, cool responses for it, you know?
Yeah.
And I did think it was cool, like how some of her music videos are very like the homespun, like friends helping with the green screen or whatever, like those types of things.
It's cute.
Along with her being so young, like it even with the music videos, it almost feels nostalgic, like because that is the age where creating something from the ground level with your friends like that. Like, everyone has kind of tried to do something similar. Not to this level, of course, but, like...
Yeah, but you still,
you
like,
remember
you
those
get
emotions.
it. Yeah. You're like, oh, I did that too.
And it's like, and it has, like...
This.
It has, like, a really wonderful quality to it, because it's sort of like the modern version of a garage band, right? Like, filming, grabbing, like, the family camcorder and making, like, a skate park punk music video. But, like, for a new era, you know?
But I think that's one of the interviews that I saw. She was on the, I think, Zach Sang show. And that was one of the things that he said when she was sort of talking about doing this stuff. And he was like, yeah, like that, if that's one message I could get out to the world right now, is that you can do your own thing. You don't have to sign to a label. You don't have, like, and he's saying to her, like, you basically became famous because you were on Instagram screwing around with your friends, right? Like, and that helped you get, you know, and she's like, yeah, I mean, obviously, without my mom and without that framework, and her brother, one of her brothers and her sister, like, also kind of in the industry and stuff. So, like, she's like, I had a lot of help. But it was very, she says that frequently, organic. Like, she just did her thing and people found her. And I think that's really cool. Like, that's a great way to get your career going.
Well, yeah, she, like, also essentially, her career is based on her personality, because she had an Instagram that was very popular, and it was popular because she was interacting with people and having these, you know, lives and interactions with them. And so, like, it's, you see that, like, that kind of is, like, part of what made her. So that's, like, kind of the thing that nobody helped her with. She just had that personality and chose to use it. And I think people really related to that as well, like, when she first got into the scene.
I find her very charming as well. Like, she seems like she's kind, and that she genuinely, like, loves other people. Like, all the people she works with, she always has nice things to say. And, like, she just seems great, you know? It seems like she's, you know, doing her best.
Yeah. I like creatively, in some ways, she kind of makes me think of DPR Ian, in that sense that she has some vision for herself. She's sort of involved in all the aspects of the creativity and stuff. Definitely, like, a younger, you know, she's got a younger vibe. She's got a totally different musical sound and style, obviously. But again, it's that, and like Jackson, like, people who, they clearly have a whole vision. She even says that sometimes when she'll be writing the songs, she gets to a part and she's picturing in her head how it'll look in the music video, and she's like, that's how she writes the next lyric, because she knows where she wants it to go in the music video, so I gotta figure out how to make that work in the lyrics and stuff, right? So she's got this sort of overall vision that she is trying to accomplish with everything.
Which is, like, really great. And
super impressive for so young.
Though I will say, like, you know, as we have said, like, having all the musical background from infancy onwards probably helps quite a bit.
Right?
So if you're listening to this and you're an aspiring musician and you're older and you haven't accomplished it, don't worry. There's still time.
We're all at our different times. Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
Don't worry about it. You know? The guy who played Snape only got into acting in his 40s. Don't worry about it.
It also doesn't, like, guarantee anything too. At the end of the day, not every person who has that, even that, like, level of, like, support gets to do what they want to do.
There are a lot of Nepo babies out there who do not have the talent to back up what they're trying to do, and she definitely does, right?
Yeah.
Like she's got both, right? She's got the talent, but she's also got the support, and that's great. And some people are just going to have the talent and no support, and some people have lots of support and not as much talent. So,
well, I think it's also good that, like, I mean, obviously she wouldn't have been able to hide her background given the level of fame that her mom had, but it's also good, like, even just in conversations or interviews, how she does, like, she recognizes it and she brings it up. Whereas there are Western music famous people that, like, they don't talk about the backing that they have, and then when you figure it out later, because marketing wise they'll be sold as, oh, you know, they just got found and all this stuff, but then you go look and it's like,
did you?
No.
Like, oh.
yeah, right?
Like that leads to her, like, authenticity. Like, she's like, yeah, up front, this is who I am. This is, like, my backing. I'm not gonna hide it. And, like, she also is not, like, she's proud of her parents too. Like, you can tell that she's proud of them. So, like, that's also a thing. It's like, it's almost probably for her, like, you know what, I didn't have to do this, and it's, like, helping me. But also maybe, like, in a sense, it's kind of like her saying, like, being the one to, like, keep up the family business, in air quotes, you know, like, that sort of thing where, like, I'm honoring my parents by continuing to do what they did.
It's also nice that she figured out she wanted to do all that a little bit later on. I say that, and I know it's funny because she was young the entire time she made that decision. But, like, as far as, it's not as if from age 9 she always made that dream. Not that would be bad, but it's nice that she got older teens to figure out, oh, I do want to pursue this. Like, I think that's interesting because from square one, people were asking her, like, are you going to get into music? And she's like, no. So it was a very conscious decision that she made. And she knew how to weigh probably the cost and balances of that, because, like, she could ask her mom if she had concerns and if she really wanted to pursue that before doing it. So it is nice that as she was a little bit older, she did make a decision to do it rather than be pushed into it.
Well, and like you say, she wasn't pushed into it. That her parents, none of the stories she's telling are about how, like, her mother had her in tap dancing lessons at 3 and was, like, you know, forcing her in, and she hated piano lessons or anything. It's like, you know, one of her best memories is that she was given a guitar as a birthday gift and, you know, taught how to play, and that's, you know, something she could do with her dad, kind of thing. Like, it's something her parents instilled in her, a love of music, but they instilled the love of music. They didn't say, you're gonna be a musician and here it is, right? So she was allowed to follow the path she wanted to follow. She actually thought she was gonna go into like therapy at one point, because she says, I love giving people advice, so I thought maybe I should be a
like
therapist.
Honestly, I can see it. Like, I can see that would be her career path if she wasn't in the arts.
That'd be cool if she eventually pursued that a little bit, maybe later on in life. Like,
she totally can. She's so young.
She's so little.
Have an established music career and then be like, yes, I also want, because, you know, people then tack on, I'm going to go to school for this thing, and then I can do that.
Exactly. And that would be a very, I don't know, like, I wouldn't be at all surprised if at one point she was like, okay, and now I'm, you know, I moved to LA and I'm happy, but I'm also going to go to university while I'm here, take some college courses.
Listen, it's never a bad idea to have some little extra in your back pocket.
Her dad was like, played trumpet in the marching band and was a music teacher, but now he's the headmaster at the school. But also, I think he got himself a degree in, like, therapy, or, like, he's a psychiatrist or a therapist or something now too. Like he has done a lot of things, and he combines it all to be the person that he is. So she has a lot of stuff out there influencing her, and, you know, the ability to see that, like, obviously he didn't do all of that. He's been doing those things over the 20 years of her life, right? Like, he, you know, so she's seen that he's not the same person he was when she was 2. He's,
right,
you know, and probably her mom too, right? Like her mom's career is not the same now as it was when she was younger and stuff. So
it's almost like people continue to grow and change
what
their whole entire lives if they want to.
That's crazy.
Incredible. That can't be
people
real.
Parents are people.
What?
That can't be true.
No.
You know, from what I've heard, we all just wait for death after age 25. What's this madness?
Poor Stephanie. She's only got 2 years left.
She's got 2 years left to go. Better get it in quick.
Use it right.
We're obviously kidding.
Obviously, right?
Very much don't believe that.
Also, if any of that was true, we'd all be zombies talking from the grave because we're well over that.
This is the Certified Zombie Podcast.
Yeah.
So I think my favorite songs by her, other than I Love You 3000, are probably Do You Love Me? I really, really love Do You Love Me? I don't know what it is. I hate cheating, but something about, like, cheating songs that I just enjoy.
It hits different.
It's different somehow, okay? There's the exception that proves the rule, am I right?
Right, exactly. So, and I love the video for, oh gosh, I can't even remember now. I think it's Bad Haircut is the one where she's in like this flowy gown and there's flowers everywhere, and
yeah, a lot of her videos are really pretty.
It's very soft and pretty, and I like it.
Yeah.
What are some of you guys, from her extensive, like 20 songs, like,
there's 24 songs on Spotify.
Oh, okay.
Thank you very
Fair
much.
enough.
Like, don't be selling her short. For me personally, I am really into astrologically illogical. I just like the vibe of it. And also, I agree that astrology is kind of dumb. So it all works out nicely.
I
like
really like.
Yeah,
it's good. No, you're fine. I really like Paranoia and How We Used to. Those are the ones that I really liked.
For me, Astrologically Illogical is my favorite, but then I also really liked Daydreaming. I thought it was really pretty.
Daydreaming's good, yeah. I also like the one, what is it? Is it Picture Myself? The one that's the soundtrack one. You know, the one she did with that other group.
Oh,
I also really like Picture Myself too.
Yeah, I like Picture Myself. Yeah, that's a good one. There's
something. She sounds a lot like the Western indie stuff that I listen to, but like less. How can I put this about the indie music I listen to? Less hatred of man and government. If you get my drift.
She's young. She still has hope.
She hasn't got there yet. She hasn't become jaded like all the people I listen to.
Yeah.
We love that for her, And
maybe she'll get there. I mean,
listen, like that's kind of what happens,
Yeah, we'll check in 10 years and see what her vibe is.
I mean, she does. I always think in my head, if for a comparison, I would probably. She reminds me somewhat of Lisa Loeb, and Lisa Loeb has very soft, sweet, cute songs, and then also songs about how she wants to kind of murder people. So
it happens. Listen, as a woman in this world, this happens to many women in this world just by living in this world. That you turn
just
into
happens.
Like it just happens, okay? Like there's like a point in your life where suddenly you're like, oh wait, okay, yeah.
I feel like not that I wish ill for her. I hope everything in her life is a delight. Like that would be. But she is now kind of living on her own for the first time. Like she sort of did back in 2019, but then moved back home during the height of the pandemic and everything, and now she's moved out on her own again, sort of for the first time now. So like, I feel like that's often when, especially if you're raised in a home of, you know, good parents and family that loves you, when you go out into the world, that's when some of the rose gets like wiped off your glasses, you know?
You know, like you go work in retail or something, and all of a sudden you have some experiences.
You go out and you meet some of those other people you were so excited to meet, and then you're like, oh, wait.
Like, oh.
Yikes.
I mean, you see like 19-year-old her in that Zach Thang video interview, and she's talking about, I just love LA. Like, this is my first time in LA, and people are so friendly and they're so nice. And the two guys are staring at her like, what are you talking about? Like and he's just like, please, careful going out into the world, because I'm not trying to tell you that people in LA are bad, but people in LA are bad, and be careful. Like,
just, you know, maybe be a little worse. Like, I know Jakarta's a really big city.
Yeah.
Just keep that same energy, you know? Like,
Right.
So hopefully she's a little, even that, like, having those, you know, that 4 years of maturity that happens in there, she's maybe a little bit more prepared for what it maybe really means to be in LA and approaching a career kind of thing a little less sort of.
Well, definitely just, so the one thing that none of us had was when you're 19, 20 experiencing a pandemic and all that, like that, at that age, that would be quite the thing to process, you know, at that point in life, that would be really difficult.
It's true. So fingers crossed.
I mean, even if you'd been thinking like, I'm going to take, she always, like in interviews, would talk about it as being her gap year, that she was taking a gap year to go to LA and like try out music for a bit and stuff. So clearly she had the thought that like maybe she was going to do something else. Yeah. And then nothing else was happening. So it was sort of like, oh, I guess.
Oh, wait.
No.
Wait a second.
You had your
Nothing's
gap
happening. Got it.
Pandemic.
Like, everyone had a gap year. We all enjoyed a gap year together, didn't we?
That lasted about 3 years long.
For some of us, that gap year still going. Good times. Gosh, she's lovely.
She is. She's definitely worth a listen to if you haven't.
And also, you know, it doesn't take that long to listen through it, so.
Yeah. Get in now.
Yeah, get on the ground floor, you know? Like,
well, and it does make you think, like, I'm sure she'll be bringing all types of stuff in the future, so it'll be interesting to see what she does.
Because, like, you can even see, like, an evolution of music from, like, her, you know, like, from just the small amount of content that she has out right now, that I imagine that will be a continuing, thing going forward, which is great. Like, you should want your musical artists to evolve and make new stuff.
Yeah.
Because that means that they're
absolutely
fulfilled as people in their jobs.
Yeah.
So,
and it's totally cool. Like, if she moves in a direction that I'm not excited to listen to, I'll still be excited for her that she's finding a thing that she likes, right? It doesn't mean that I hate her now. It just means maybe I don't listen to as many of her songs if she goes in a different direction. But, like, so far she hasn't taken any steps that I haven't enjoyed. So, you know, we'll see. I mean, there aren't very many styles of music that I don't enjoy. So I'm pretty open to anything she comes at me with, as long as she's still her, you know.
Indeed. Keep that dream alive, girl. And Stephanie, if you're listening to us, we think you're great.
Yes.
You're fantastic, and we support you in all your endeavors.
Yeah.
We hope that.
And we're happy to see you actually thriving and keeping doing new music.
Yeah. We think because I think I sort of laughed, but this particular episode feels like one that the person we're talking about might actually come across it at some point. So we just want you to know, we think you're doing fantastic work and you're very talented and wonderful.
Hit us up if you want us to
hit us up if you want to chat. We can do Stephanie Poetri 2.0, the interview. We're cool, you know.
But we do look forward to whatever is in store from you.
Yeah,
we're looking forward to it.
This is the first time we've ever addressed someone who wasn't a corporate entity jokingly in our podcast.
No, we have before. It would always be someone that we knew would.
Yeah, we like that. Beth and Katie get shouted.
No, like,
Alexa
for sure.
Our best friend Alexa. Of course.
Yeah,
of course. I forgot.
Which, I mean, Alexa's our best friend. So by extension, and Alexa and Stephanie are best friends now.
So
we're cool. We're best friends in the Noonas family.
So if you wish to add us to the group chat, just feel free.
Feel free.
Just let us know.
Just if you want to like give Alexa our number, like we'll chat with her too. We're real cool.
I mean, it could be all of us.
Yeah, we could all be best friends. Don't even. I know we're a little bit older than you guys, but like we're really cool. I promise. You know.
We're all just laughing at each other.
We're ridiculous human beings. Are there any final thoughts?
I don't. Apparently, at one point I did also see that she was doing maybe shopping some of her songs for some K-pop artists and stuff too. So we might start seeing her credits showing up in other places as well.
We love to see it.
That would be exciting too.
Oh, and I hope for her that if, like, I kind of saw in some interviews that she wanted some duets with various K-pop folks and like Ed Sheeran and all types of other people. So like, I'll put that energy out there for her. I hope that she gets the duets in the future that she wants.
Exactly.
Put some podcast powers into.
Yeah. We're gonna put that into the universe, and for some reason. We have weird good energy. Like we put stuff into the universe that comes back to us for some reason. And we're not some of those, hokey astral projection people. Though if you like that sort of, you do you. We're just joking around, but good things happen sometimes when we joke around. So we're gonna put that energy out there for you, girl. And hope that it works out. Yeah, so anyway, we hope that you listening to us out there in the world, go check her out. Go check out her Spotify. Go look at her up on YouTube. She's fantastic. She's delightful. Anyway, we hope you have a fantastic week. You can listen to us wherever podcasts can be found. But of course, all of our episodes with all the links to everything we talk about is on CertifiedNoonas.com. And our podcast is also on YouTube. You just search Certified Noonas. You'll find us. And we do live streams pretty near every week as well. All the episodes are there. All the live streams are still there. It's good. It's good times. It's good times. If you want to support this podcast, you can go to patreon.com/certified Noonas, because no matter how many corporate entities we laugh about, none of them ever actually give us money, because this is totally funded by listeners, our PBS moment. They're the family over on patreon.com/certified Noonas. They are the best. They get extra little special extras here and there, and we have monthly movie night. It's good times. It's a good time over there on the Patreon. You can also join our free-to-join Discord. We're all there, and it's cool people only. Cool-ish people only. Not goofy people. It's nice people. Anyway, we hope you have a fantastic week. As always, wash your hands, wear a mask, and maybe listen to some Stephanie Poetri over there on the old Spotify or whatever music program you use. And keep enjoying Asian entertainment. Bye.
Bye.